we're starting this adventure at the parking lot of Mount Charleston. It is absolutely stunning here. This is a mountain that I've wanted to climb for at least 2 years. It feels close enough and attainable enough to do it, and I'm excited to finally be out here doing the thing. I am testing out kind of a bunch of new gear on this hike today, on this backpacking trip today, and I'm pretty pumped about it. I've had pretty much the same backpacking gear since I started, and it's gonna be really nice to embrace these upgrades that I made. It's about 2 o'clock right now, so I'm getting started pretty late, but that was always the plan with this hike. I should only have like about 6 to 9 miles, depending on how far I go tonight and how good I'm feeling. So very, very easy, very casual. So I'm just taking my time and enjoying it. Look at these mountains behind me. So beautiful. I think what makes this place so special is just how fast everything changes. 1 minute you're in the desert, and the next you're walking through a ponderosa pine forest at 10,000 feet. It's a reminder of how dramatically elevation shifts climate, life, and even my own mindset. Mount Charleston has always felt like a little secret, just 45 minutes from the chaos of Las Vegas. It's like stepping into another world. It's quiet, cool, and completely wild. As I started up the trail, I could already feel the shift. The elevation, the pine trees, the silence. It was exactly what I needed. Oh my gosh, this part of the trail is amazing. Wow. So pretty. So I'm just stopping and taking a little break here in the shade. I'm going to tape my Achilles really quick. Oh, the skin did pull away a little bit, so it is starting to become a blister. That right there is Griffith Peak. Right down here is Cathedral Rock, and then tucked back here is Mount Charleston. And this is Mount Charleston City down here. So pretty. I'm just leaving Echo Overlook right behind me and heading up to the saddle now, or just below the saddle. Still haven't figured out where I'm going to camp tonight, so I'm kind of keeping an open mind for that, but I'm only 3 miles in, so I've got some time. Still a little breezy, nice and cool, and it's making the hiking just so enjoyable. Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm getting closer to the saddle, and I should be able to find a campsite somewhere around there. It's 4:24 right now, it's almost 4:30. There are a lot less people on trail now, obviously, because it's getting later in the day, and most everyone has headed off the trail. So it's very quiet and peaceful. Making my way to this beautiful lookout. Wow, Charleston Peak stands at 11,916 feet, rising sharply out of the Mojave Desert, just 35 miles northwest of Las Vegas. It's wild how a place this high and this beautiful can exist so close to the noise and the heat of the Strip. Beautiful area I'm in. Nice dense trees. We still got some sun, it's just behind those trees. Man, this part's so beautiful, but there are so many blowdowns everywhere. Luckily the trail weaves around them, so they're probably pretty old. But these trees are big. Holy smokes. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but down there is North Las Vegas. And it's super difficult to see it right now because there's a very heavy haze, smoke all over Vegas right now, because the mountain that I live by, Pine Valley Mountain, is actually on fire. And so it is burning and it is blowing smoke down in this area, which is making it difficult to actually see down into the valley. I should be almost to the saddle, should just be right up there. And I am looking forward to that. I'm gonna take a break, eat some food, and then make a plan for the remainder of the evening. See why they call this the meadows. Look how beautiful that is. So I got to the saddle. It is so windy still. There's a couple spots that looks like you can camp here. The wind is supposed to die down though. It's gonna be super windy like this until, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9, and then it dies way down after that. So I knew it was gonna be windier right up here on the ridge line. I'm just gonna sit here and eat some food and think about my life choices ahead. Okay, just leaving that break spot back there, and I made an executive decision to continue on, to push forward. I did layer up a little bit because that wind is cold. I'm gonna try to push a couple more miles to get closer to Charleston Peak, maybe just like a mile or 2 away. And that will make my morning so easy. Not much of a view up here because of the haze and the smoke. As I hiked along this ridgeline, the wind really started to cut through me. I could feel the circulation starting to fade in my fingers. This is something that tends to happen when I'm cold and at elevation like this. I knew that I needed to make a call. Push forward and risk this getting worse or find shelter. I decided to stop and set up camp in a little spot with a natural windbreak. It certainly wasn't ideal, but it was the best that I had. Setting up my tent felt incredibly difficult. My hands were almost useless, fumbling with the tent stakes and the trekking poles while the wind fought my every move. But eventually, I got it all set up well enough to crawl inside and escape the worst of it. I layered up, climbing into my sleeping bag, and let my body start the slow process of warming up. It's so cold outside. that got a little scary there for a second for me. It was kind of a whirlwind, to be honest. While I was climbing, I noticed that my hands were kind of going numb, and that happens when my fingers like lose circulation. They kind of go white, and then I just kind of lose feeling in them. And I noticed it on the climb a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. And then after my snack break at the saddle, once I reached that spot, I was walking in the worst wind of the day, and I did put on my puffy, but I don't think it was quite enough. And I also think that I should have started layering earlier on in the day. It's just so hard for me to like navigate adding layers and taking away layers, so I definitely feel like I didn't do too well with that today on my hike up. Anyways, I walked maybe a half a mile on the ridge line, just getting pounded with this freezing cold wind, and I could barely feel my fingers anymore. And I was getting nervous because in conditions like this, I have to set up my tent. I have to be able to use my hands to undo the buckles on my stuff, and you know, just the little basic things that you don't even think about. I need my hands for all of this, and so I was getting really nervous. So I decided to just set up camp. I found a spot with a little bit of a wind break, not much. Just decided to set up my tent and add some layers to my body and just warm up a little. This was my very first time setting up this tent, and honestly, it's set up so poorly right now, it's kind of embarrassing. But I was fighting the wind, I was fighting the footprint, I couldn't feel my fingers as I was pounding the stakes into the ground, and yeah, it was just a whole experience. I'm glad to be in my tent, honestly. It's a lot warmer in here. I went out to go to the bathroom just a little while ago, and it's actually surprising how nice it is in here compared to how cold it is out there in the wind. So I'm feeling very, very grateful for my shelter right now, and to have a tent and to be warming up. I'm inside my sleeping bag right now. I've got almost all my layers on. I am just warming up right now. I think I let my body temperature drop a little bit too much. I'm feeling better now. My fingers are doing much better. The feeling has returned. I have full dexterity now, thank goodness. I know it's early. It's only 7 o'clock right now, which is crazy to be camped and have it be light outside and not hiking still, but I feel like conditions today were a little bit tougher than I imagined, and I'm just going to eat some food and kind of hang out. It's still so windy, which is just shaking my tent all over the place, and it's super loud. I'm not even sure if you can hear all of this. Tomorrow I'll be making my way to summit Charleston Peak. I'm really happy to be here, even though all of this was pretty intense in like the last hour. It's just so nice to be out here, and I'm really grateful to be out here still. Oh my goodness, the adventures that I have. I ate everything that I could stomach, knowing just how much energy the cold burns through. I drank a full liter of water that I had hauled up all the way from the base of the mountain. I'm eating dinner right now. It is delicious and warm, and it's it's hitting the spot right now. I'm so grateful to be warm in my tent. It is insanely cold out there, and I'm not quite sure how tomorrow is going to go. I was really considering not bringing my puffy, and I am so dang glad that I did, because it is way too cold not to have it. It's supposed to drop down to like the 40s tonight, so that should be interesting. The wind has already backed off a little bit, which is so nice. I am set up in my in my little sleeping bag, and then my sleeping bag is inside my backpack right now. I feel like my backpack is another layer and my feet always get cold. So I feel like it's a good idea. We're gonna try it. I'm listening to a podcast. You probably can't see my ears, but I got earbuds in. Originally, I started listening to the podcast so that I could just like zone out the wind, because this is just so annoying. I'm really enjoying it, and it's nice to have something to listen to while I eat dinner and then relax for the night. It's still super windy. It's still super cold. So I'm all bundled up. Whew. Good morning. It's like 6 a.m. and it's not windy. Finally. Oh. It was probably windy till like 10 or 11 last night. I ended up sleeping with all my layers on. I had my rain coat on while it was super windy. But then as the wind died off, I was like pretty warm, so I was able to take it off. Putting my legs inside my backpack is such a genius idea. I will definitely be doing this in the future. There's kind of dirt all over my stuff because the wind just blew dirt in everywhere. Tried to build a barrier last night so that it wouldn't let any air in. There was no wind coming this direction, so that was fine. But over here, and then I tried to stuff my stuff kind of in the ventilation areas back there. And then I pitched the tent super close to the ground, but you can only do so much when the wind is that bad, so I feel like everything turned out well, even though this tent was not pitched perfectly. If I'm not in a crazy windy situation, or if I just have more time to set it up, it will be much better. And if I can feel my fingers when I set it up, that would be amazing. I'm gonna freeze out there in like 5 seconds. The next morning, I woke up to golden light spilling in from the east. The sunrise was breaking through a heavy, smoky haze that hovered over the city below. Everything was covered in a golden glow. I laid there for a minute, soaking it all in, not rushing, just appreciating the warmth, the quiet, and the fact that I had made it through the night. It's freezing out there. Kind of just getting my plan together for the day and getting ready to cook some kind of breakfast. Mostly just hot chocolate. Why are you moving? And I'm just trying to decide on my approach to summit Mount Charleston. I think what I'm going to do is leave most of my food and all my supplies here and just bring what I need to summit, which is not much, honestly, because it's only a couple miles away. So I think I'm gonna do that. That sounds really nice rather than packing everything up right now. I moved slowly that morning, made coffee, sat in stillness. I let myself be fully present in this experience. This is an incredibly irresponsible way to be using my water right now, but I'm doing it anyways. I have like 1.5 liters left to get me to the summit and down the mountain, but I did bring 4 liters with me. I drank a bunch yesterday evening. Yeah, now I have 1.5 liters left, but I'm considering this hot chocolate water, right? There's water in it, there's coffee in it, and chocolate as well, but there's water, so that's going to hydrate me to get me to Mount Charleston, right? I do have a little bit of electrolytes in my collapsible water bottle, so I'll probably just end up putting a little bit of water in there and taking that to the summit instead of just bringing my whole bladder. There's no need to carry extra weight if I don't need to. I am back on trail, and I have been for probably 15-20 minutes. 7:36 right now. So for part of this video, I wanted to talk about the new gear that I've been using. And I'm sure that some of you have seen it in this video or identified it because I used the same gear for so long, and I just felt like it was time to upgrade some things. So let's talk about the first piece of gear that I am so excited about, and I honestly don't know why it took me so long to get one of these, and that is my camera mount, my camera clip. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that I have been hauling around this huge camera and not clipping it right here at my shoulder. I've tried all kinds of things with this camera, like storing it in the top of my backpack, clipping it to my tripod that lives on the side and just hoping that it doesn't fall off. I've done all kinds of stuff, but this by far seems to be the best solution. It feels secure, it feels solid, so I'm really happy to find some efficiency with my camera, because that can be a whole thing when I'm out on these adventures, is figuring out how to shoot, how to store my gear, how to use my gear efficiently. So I'm happy to find a little bit of ease with that. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see down here, but it looks like someone built up a windbreak. So that could have been a potential spot to camp, and this whole area has places that are built like that, like for windbreaks for backpackers to use for when it's insanely windy like it was last night. But as I'm hiking these morning miles, I just keep feeling so grateful that I decided to stop where I did, because this isn't that pretty to look at. It's just a burned down forest, and I feel so lucky that I got a little spot that has live pine trees and a little windbreak and a view. So really grateful for my intuition telling me to stop there, because it was the perfect spot. Nice little walk by this cliff edge. Wow, it's so beautiful to look down into that valley. Gotta go all the way back down there later today. Whew. Obviously no trekking poles, because my tent is being held up by my trekking poles. So I kind of wish I had them, but it's not a super big deal. I'm certainly feeling the elevation though. Okay, hello Mount Charleston. You can see a little town down there, little city. So I am over 10,000 feet for sure right now. And though I can feel the effects of the altitude, I'm not getting altitude sickness. As I made my way towards Charleston Peak, I took time to admire the wildflowers that had somehow decided to bloom up here. They are so temporary, so fragile, and yet so beautiful. I don't get to hike at high altitude all that often, but when I do, I'm reminded why I love it so much. There's something about it that slows everything down. Breathing becomes more intentional, your body feels heavier, and time starts to blur. It's honestly hard to put into words, but if you've ever felt the strange magic of altitude, you know exactly what I mean. I see one tiny person on the ridge. It is perfect hiking weather though. Nice cool temperatures, sunshine, no wind. I'm so grateful. This last mile feels like it's taking forever, and it's lots of effort because I'm probably over 11,000 feet, nearing 12,000, so feeling that altitude. I made it. Wow. Finished up at the top. I really didn't spend too much time up there. It took me 2 hours to get up here. It was almost 4 miles. So a bit longer than I thought, which is no big deal. The other piece of gear that I wanted to talk about that is new and that I'm testing is my backpack. And I'm sure you guys have noticed it because I've had the same backpack in all of my videos since I started. But this is an ultralight backpack by Outdoor Vitals. It's the CS40 ultralight, I believe, and I am so happy with it so far. I have had the same backpack for 6 or 7 years, and it's one of the older, like heavier frame backpacks. And this is a non-framed backpack, but it still has cushion and enough structure in the build that it has been fantastic. I am so excited about taking this out on all my backpacking trips this summer. It is so light. It makes carrying all my stuff feel so much better. It's not as intense on my hips. I love that it has hip pockets and huge side pockets. I'm really loving it, and I'm still figuring out all the features. I have this size small, and then my belt is an extra small. So I reached out to them and they helped me choose the right backpack and the right fit for me. And honestly, it is on point. I'm so happy with the fit so far. I was a little nervous that it's only 40 liters, but I realized there's so much space and storage on the outside of the pack that I don't really have to keep too much inside of the pack, which is amazing. Wow. I've been doing a little bit of trail running on and off, just on the downhill cruisy sections, just to make up a little bit of time. But it gets my heart rate up so high because I'm at high altitude, so I can't really do it that long. I have been jogging a little bit, but not enough to like jog this trail at elevation. Okay, I shouldn't be too far from camp now, but another piece of new gear that I wanted to talk about is my shoes. So currently I'm using my Flux Trail Runners, and I've been using Flux on and off for the past few months. I used them in my Grand Canyon hike, and they were amazing. So I was really worried about not being able to use gaiters with them, but it really has not been a problem at all. This part right here is to keep dirt and rocks out of the shoe, and it works pretty dang well. Unfortunately, on this trail, they are giving me a blister on the Achilles of my right foot, but I never experienced that in the Grand Canyon. So I'm not sure if I'm just wearing the wrong socks, if I just didn't stop and put tape on it fast enough, or what, but I really love the wide toe box with them. All of my shoes have to have wide toe boxes. I have really wide feet, so hiking in narrow shoes is just unbearable. I've been through lots of different hiking shoes, and I was an ultra girl, like exclusively, before trying Flux. I'm loving them right now. They are very comfortable shoes, very grippy. I love the traction that they have. They've just been a great shoe all around. I think I'm camped somewhere in these trees over here. It's 10:30 and I'm obviously back in my tent. I'm gonna lay here for like 10 minutes and just rest and then pack up. Whew, what a morning. Okay, I am just about ready to leave this beautiful spot that I camped at last night. Before I go, I wanted to show you the last piece of gear that I'm testing out on this adventure, and that is my tent. I finally got a trekking pole tent and I could not be more excited about it. This tent is the Fortius 1 by Outdoor Vitals, and it is an ultralight trekking pole tent for one person, and I am so dang excited to finally have some lightweight gear. I mentioned last night that I set up the tent kind of funky because of the wind, and you can probably tell that it is set up funky, but it worked perfectly last night regardless. It worked like a charm, but it would definitely work better if it was set up correctly with enough space to fully stake everything out. So I love it. I am so excited about it. This is a single wall tent, and it only has trekking poles to set it up, so it's incredibly light. It has been such a fun time testing out gear here in Mount Charleston and bringing you along with me. I hope that some of this gear gives you ideas for things that you can do for yourself this season and little upgrades that you can make that will make a massive difference. And now that I've shared all my new gear that I'm testing with you, it's time to pack up and go. It's kind of funny how poorly my ground sheet's set up. I don't think it did anything. All right, I am leaving my campsite. It is 11:14. And I'm gonna try hiking in a tank top for a little bit. If it gets too hot, I'll put my sun hoodie back on. I think I have 5.5 or 5 miles back to my car. So many birds. Kind of hope I don't get pooped on. I have never seen this before. This is so crazy. Made it back to the junction with Griffith Peak and the trail that heads down. Wow, can't believe I was up there this morning. Beautiful little lookout. And I'm gonna continue on. Just made a little outfit change back in my sun hoodie. After like an hour hiking without it, I decided it's probably smart to put it back on. And this backpack was kind of rubbing my shoulders a little bit. I just passed Echo Lookout and Now I'm hiking this beautiful section. My backpack feels so light, not carrying much water at all. Guess that's the only benefit, not carrying a lot of water. I made it! Yay! Whew. It's gotten much hotter since I've descended a lot. Feels really warm right now. Okay, I just wanted to sign off before I leave the parking lot and go over a few stats. So that was Charleston Peak, and it was so fun to overnight backpack that. Last night, Strava says that I hiked 5.8 miles with 3,200, almost 3,300 feet of elevation gain, and it took 2 hours, 40 minutes. Today, I hiked 12.5 miles. I had 1,700 feet of elevation gain, and then the entire mountain of loss, and moving time was 4 hours 41 minutes. So felt really slow. It felt really doable. I wish I would have had more water the whole time, but that's pretty much it. Besides that, it went so smooth. I'm very, very happy with my new gear that I have, and it was so fun to test it out on this trail, doing this mountain and this summit that I have been wanting to do for a while. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button and remember to subscribe to my channel so you can see more of my adventures. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you in next week's video. Bye!